What's going on, everybody? My name is Crypto Corey. I want to thank you for joining me today. We had a really exciting drop today. We had two. We had a comic book drop, and then we had the drop I'm going to talk about, which is the Golden Moment. And this Golden Moment featured Lady and the Tramp for the rare, and for the less rare, it was Donald and Daisy. So the drop happened. Total, I think there was less than 30,000 of these collectibles. And on the drop, did I get it? No, but I did get the 4-minute rebound. And this is why I wanted to talk in this video about getting drops and getting rebounds. This is something that I've been trying to just get the information out to people. And I know, and I trust me, it's not easy to get drops. But what I'm going to do right now is just give you some thoughts of what to think about when preparing for these drops, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So without further ado, this is basically my thought on getting drops. So after the new year, I've always been tracking my drops, and last year I started in August. From August to the new year, August to December, I was getting 80% of all drops. Now, that's not just on the drop, that's also on rebound, that's also using 2 devices. So if I use 2 devices and I get 2 collectibles, I would count them both as winning the drop. So out of all the drops, I was getting about 80% of the drops. I've only gotten duplicates once or twice. But there was a time where I was able to go in and buy 5 or 6 with one phone before the sold out button would appear. So I'd be able to buy multiple Marvel Mighty. Actually, I bought a bunch of Marvel Mighties on the drop and before they sold out. But now, this is 2022. I have been 50% on drops. And I know a lot of people, they haven't gotten drops for months. They haven't gotten drops since the decon happened, which is a long time ago. And I feel for those people. And yeah, I've had a more difficult time getting drops. But what I'm going to do right now is just go through my method on winning drops, and not so much winning drops, but obtaining collectibles for the drop price. So that means getting them on rebound. So things to keep in mind: your phone does matter. I've got an iPad Pro and I've got a Galaxy S21 Ultra, and these phones are top notch. I know the S22 Ultra just came out, and they're probably going to come out with a new iPhone and iPad and stuff soon. So keeping to date on the higher end of the electronics is a good idea for winning these drops. It just helps you with a few things that you need to win the drops. And this is just, I don't know much about Apple, but when it comes to getting drops with my Galaxy, one thing I know for certain is I can turn on what's called developer mode. And in developer mode, I can actually go in and change the button response time. So when I click a button, the average button, the phone will give so many milliseconds, and it'll do a spinning wheel of death, the load screen. So it provides an animation, and it provides a button acquisition. So I've got 2 settings in developer mode on my my Galaxy that I use to get my times down. I turn the button acquisition times down from, I think it's around 4 or 3 milliseconds to 1 millisecond. So I do that. That's the first one. On the second one, it's the animation of the button itself. So when you click the button, animation happens, and that usually takes about 3 milliseconds, and I get that down to 1 millisecond. So those are the 2 things that I do inside of developer mode to make my button acquisitions quicker. Does it help out in the Veve app? I honestly don't know, because they probably have their own programming on how the button acquisition and button animation works. But I still turn it down on my phone just in case. The next thing is I restart my phone. I turn my phone off. I make sure it's charged up. Don't put no battery savings mode, no power savings mode. I keep it in optimal performance mode. I jump everything way up. I jack up all the performance of it, and you want to get the hardware performance to match the software that's going on. The next thing that's real big is making sure that your internet is good. So, and this is the thing, I'm going to tell you, everyone talks about getting an Ethernet adapter, plugging directly into the Wi-Fi, or not Wi-Fi, but the Ethernet, and using a hardline connection for your internet. I've gotten drops like that. I've gotten drops with 5G. I've gotten drops with Wi-Fi, and I've gotten drops with 4G. I've actually, and this is just to give you an understanding, with the golden moment specifically, I dropped C-3PO driving just on the coast. I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, so I was literally feet from the ocean, driving up and down the coast, and I pulled over on the side of the road in order to try to go for this drop. And I went for the drop and I got it. So, and my ping must have been horrible at the time. And the ping is important. We'll talk a little bit about ping and your upload speeds. But right now, just when we're talking about devices, I do recommend a Samsung over Apple, although Apple's neck and neck. I recommend cranking up your power, turning down response times, and then clearing out your memory, clearing out any cache, clearing out things that potentially might be running in the background. And then inside the Veve app, you want to clear out all your downloaded files. So that's just hardware. If we're talking hardware, and I use an adapter, a regular USB-C adapter to Ethernet whenever I go for most of these drops. So, hardware covered. Now, let's cover some understanding of timing and things like that. Another hardware thing, turn on and off your router. So that way you reset everything. Don't let things be on the internet, so you're using up as little of the internet as possible. All right, so the next one, this is really important. You want to run a speed test. You want to run a speed test to see what your current ping is. I just go into the Google and I type in the word speed test, and then you get a few different options. Just choose the option that actually tells you what the milliseconds of ping is when you run the speed test. Mine, I run anywhere from 7 to 15 milliseconds of ping before I get these drops. That's typically what I have on my phones. And I go for these drops just like you, doing the typical align gate, space gate, whatever gate that people do for the specific drops. And I don't want to get into those that much, because a lot of times people complain about bots will get these things in seconds. But what I will do is I will tell you how to get rebounds. So this is how I personally get most of my blind box drops. So what I do is, because I've got the Galaxy and I'm mashing that button for the blind box drop, when I don't get it, majority of the time, like 9 times out of 10, my buy it now button is still live and active. And if it is, I stay in that page and I wait for the 4-minute rebound. Now, there's all kinds of clocks you can use to gauge when your 4 minutes is up with the seconds and all that. But what I recommend is, if you watch the Veve Vault's live stream page, he links in the description a clock. Now, that clock, if you click on it, the reason why I like his clock more than anyone else's is you can actually see below. It tells you whenever these seconds hit, every single second, it gives you a millisecond understanding of the accuracy of the time. Sometimes it'll show 0, sometimes it'll show -3 milliseconds, sometimes it'll show +8 milliseconds. So what that is the time for the seconds to change, and how accurate those second changes are according to the clock. So it gives you an accuracy understanding. So when I look at that, right in those moments, those last 2 seconds, I can see whether the clock is running behind or the clock is running ahead. And it's always, usually at the time, it's usually within about 5 milliseconds up or down, right before the drop happens. So what I do is you go to click the button, you don't get the drop, you wait for the 4-minute rebound, and then me personally, when my ping is low, we're talking sub 10 milliseconds ping, what I like to do is I like to pretend to hit the button and I count. And literally it's just gonna go like 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, then there's the 4 minute. So what I do is I learn how to hit this button just before. Now, if my ping is, let's just say 13 milliseconds or higher, what I do is I wait for that typical what everyone talks about, which is the 4 minutes, 59 seconds, and 1/2 second. So that's if I have a long button acquisition time. I click on the 1/2 second. But when I've got a low ping and I've got a fast acquisition that's happening, I like to press the button, I kid you not, almost as if it was right at that second, going to be the 4 minute mark. Now, that 4 minute mark, when it does hit, your finger has just pressed that button just beforehand, and then that ping, that 10 second, millisecond, 7 millisecond ping, then hits the button, acquisitions or activates the purchase. So what I like to do is when it's low, I press that button, it happens, and I typically get the drops or the rebounds. I'm not saying that everyone's going to always get these rebounds, but what I can tell you is I would probably be about 60% on the rebounds total. When you look at 2022, 60% of rebounds that I go for, I get. Now, I do get the drops every now and then. I did get double of Wonder Woman. I did just get the Peely Fantasy. I did get Killer Croc. I got plenty more. I just got Lady and the Tramp. So I did not get the comic, actually. So I missed the comic. Didn't get the rebound on the comic. But I went for the Lady and the Tramp, and the Golden Moments dropped today, and I ended up getting the Lady and the Tramp, and I got a mint number 513, which is real low, and I'm real happy with it. But the one thing I want you to kind of think about is these are not rigged. I don't want you to think that bots have gobbled all this stuff up and it's impossible for you to get now. It's not. I'm still getting drops. You can still get drops, and I wish you the best of luck getting these drops. I just got back from Disney World, and I've got a whole video I've got to prepare to talk about these golden moments and to talk about Disney NFTs and what Disney is doing in the art scene. And man, I just got back from Disney, and it's the art festival right now, and it was amazing. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the 50th anniversary, all these golden NFTs and golden collectibles and Disney pens and everything that's going on currently, and why I'm not only bullish on Veve, but I'm just bullish on the NFT market in a general sense, not on every NFT project, but in a general sense, I'm bullish on NFTs for the next 4 or 5 years. We'll talk more about it. I'll post another video, but as of right now, when it comes to these drops, I wish you the best of luck. And there are many ways of getting these drops. Many of YouTube videos shows you how to use a space gate, a line gate, all this stuff to help you win these drops. But at the end of the day, if you don't get the drop, go for the rebound, and you want to measure the ping that you have, your speed, with your timing. And ping above 10-15 milliseconds, I say 3 minutes 59 seconds and 1/2 second. If the ping is 10 milliseconds or less, you literally want to be pressing that button just before it hits 4 minutes. I mean, like, it would be 59.75 seconds. You know what I mean? 3 minutes 59 seconds and 3/4 of a second. That's basically how you want to time it. And if the buy it now button is gone, which I typically don't ever have happen to me, but it does happen to a lot of people. I saw that it happened on Tap's stream today. But if it does happen, you're gonna have to time it even more exact. You have to click in and then click the button at the 4 minute mark or the 8 minute mark, and that's really difficult. So I've just been fortunate that every time I've gone for a drop, my buy it now button is always live still. I don't know why. I don't know why it stays live. I just know it does. And because it's been staying live, I've been getting rebound after rebound. I want to thank you for joining me. Nothing I say is financial advice. And if you would, please click a like in this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to click the bell notification, you can get more updates on my content whenever it drops. I want to thank you. And my name's Crypto Corey. Nothing I say is financial advice. And I will see you on the next one. Have a good day, Veve fam.